if it wants to work.
I hope it works. We got a beer monster to fight.
Maybe.
Well, I don't have a beer monster to fight.
Yeah, you're drunk.
Have to fight my hangover.
Oh. Nope.
Tried.
Hello. Let's carry on. I fixed nothing.
Nice. Well done.
As is standard course for the Cape Crusaders.
As is par for the course, yes.
Software doesn't let me adjust any set. Oh, I can do it.
Oh, no.
I can do it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
That's as good as it gets, I'm afraid, without... Any more zooming will have to be done manually.
What? So that means you'll be getting up and walking towards the camera?
Yeah, like I'll have a bit... I'll go, everybody wait. I'll put the keyboard thing down. I'll heave myself out of the thing and I'll come right towards the camera and I'll say something that just gets a chuckle out of one of us.
Fair enough. The only other thing I've learned is there is a little bit of feedback when your mic's active. You might want to turn down the gains or turn up your sensitivity just a little bit.
Fixed.
I won't really know until you start speaking, but there is a bit of feedback in the background. But it's fine. We'll deal with it.
Okay, I'll just say.
Oh no.
Just.
Oh no. You're just gone.
I'll fix it. Press the big red button. Enable all sound devices apart from this one.
Oh jeez.
So welcome back. Are we fixed?
Yeah, kind of. So yeah, well, welcome back to the stream. Absolutely professional streaming right here. My colleagues here, ladies and gentlemen.
Colleagues, are we getting paid?
Oh, hold on, guys.
No.
Restart.
I mean, that's just the word I'm using. Colleagues, like, what am I going to say? Co-hosts? I mean, that would work. I know.
But I see how it is. Cohorts.
Circus monkeys.
Slaves.
We're prisoners with jobs, sir.
Prisoners with jobs. Yes, the prisoners with jobs.
Imperial slaves. Pets.
No, because I don't feed you nor let you out to go to the bathroom. Anyway, we're running almost 15 minutes late. Shall we actually get started with this
Yes.
this game of rolling dice and trying to kill things? Not in real life.
If we need to go to the bathroom, I guess we use a glass or something. Okay.
No, you just like
TOS.
no, you sit down and look up at me with the puppy dog eyes, and then just kind of whinge every now and then eventually I'll just be like, fine, I suppose you can go, and then let you out afterwards as you just kind of sit there with the puppy dog eyes like,
what about
please,
if I think
please.
I might want to go out, but I'm not sure if I want to go out, but I might sit at the door anyway, but then when you open the door,
I'll let you out.
I don't want to go out.
No, I'd open the door and let you out, and then you'll go outside and you'll wander around for a few minutes, and then you'll not do anything and come back inside, and then I'll call you all the bastards under the sun, and then go back to what I was doing, and then you'll pee in the corner.
Oh look, I found something. The more drunk I get, the less focused I can
Oh
do.
god, oh god, yeah, Temple's gone. Actual drunk vision, love it.
No, you're not drunk.
No, you're drunk. Anyway, as you may or may not recall, last session, which was like 3 weeks ago or so now, you had... Yeah, you've got whatever that is in the background, Dev. That is heavy feedback. Anyway, you guys had managed to deal with the Grim Jester that the Lord and Lady Briarwood had put you up against in the dungeon of Castle Whitestone. After which they had brought you back, managed to ensure the well-being of one of your party members who definitely didn't die again. After which there was you managed to convince them to offer their support of the Whitestone army to come back over to Akrai and help you in your final fight. And after a little bit of a test of sorts, they also provided Victorious the one and only weapon that he definitely hasn't been looking for since this campaign started, his oathbow. Upon finishing your dealing with the Briarwoods, you returned to the Hydra's Ale House, where you rested up, you got a long rest, full healed, got your spell slots and shit back, and then spent the entire day shopping. While getting drunk. Nita forgot to mention that. There was this, I remember a really hilarious part of you guys, who was it? It was Victorious and Neftari who bought a tankard, a magical tankard that would make anything taste amazing. And one of you emptied a vase of plant water into it, mixed with dirt, and then drank it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tested it on Neftari first, but then I didn't believe him, so I had to test it myself. And
yeah, it didn't work. So you believed you had been duped. But you did return. You did get your fancy unicorn horn string for your oathbow, Victorious, and before the day had come to an end, you guys decided to, see if the tankard made ale just taste better. Maybe it got you drunk quicker. Who the fuck knew? On the bottom, though, as you were inspecting it, you did notice that it said, for alcoholic beverages only, a warning, do not spill. So, in your infinite wisdom, decided to fill it up with ale and then throw it across the room in the bar. And as the ale kind of swirled around and coalesced into the center of the room, which was surrounded by lots of drinking patrons, what looked to be an elemental made of the ale that was within the tankard formed before you, aptly named an elemental. And that is where we are going to pick things off. Now, I don't actually have a battle map for this because my DPS has been kind of shafting me recently. I've made the battle map 4 times, and then the file corrupted 4 times. So I'm going to have to do a fresh install of that and try and figure out what the fuck's going on with that. So there's no battle map, unfortunately, for this. But I don't think you will need one. So if I could kindly get a Victorious, Neftari, and Temple to go ahead and roll me initiative, we will get this started.
What, has somebody started a fight?
You've just summoned an elemental in the middle of a bar. Yes.
Isn't necessarily angry. That was, is it?
That's an insight check.
I think the DM is suggesting that it is.
I'm asking you to roll initiative. Because as it may, you do not I'm rolling initiative so that you are taking your turns in the round, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be in combat. You can do whatever you want just in rounds of initiative. So I'm going to do this first.
So I accidentally rolled an insight check. It was actually
it's
the
fine.
Initiative was 3.
So you've got a 3, 7, 9. So. I'm going to actually write this down on paper because most of my stuff's not fucking working at the moment, and I don't know why. It's just being a massive pain in the arse. And lastly, I'm going to do this. Cool, and one last dice roll. Okay, right, so you have just summoned an elemental, an elemental, sorry, in the middle of the tavern before you. Temple, you're first up. What would you like to do?
Before that happens, DM, who was it that actually threw the
Bartender, I think.
Well, we tried to get the bartender to do it, but I think Did
Whose idea?
doing it or Temple ended up doing it? I can't remember who ended up throwing it.
Temple wouldn't have done that now.
I think it might have been you or Neftari.
It was Neftari.
Okay.
I'm pretty. Yeah, it was one of the two of you because Shakad wouldn't have thrown the emptied his own ale into the.
We tried to scare him so he would accidentally spill it, but we failed at that. And then
No,
one of us
he
was
told us
throwing
to.
it, and I can't remember who it was.
He told us to. He said, "I'll just throw it. Just throw the whole lot."
Yeah,
I thought
but
that
you did it.
So you did it.
So Neftari. So Neftari's the one that summoned the elemental.
Okay.
I don't remember. I'm sure I would remember something like that. Yeah.
All right. So, Temple. Again, you're first up. What would you like to do? Before you is a swirling mass of brown tinted liquor that is coalesced into an almost humanoid form that is just kind of turned around and glanced at the three of you at the bar. While there are a lot of other patrons around, men, women, and children alike, who are with mixed reactions, looking in interest, shock, fear. What would you like to do?
Goodness gracious me! A water elemental here. DM, does it look angry?
Go ahead and roll me an insight check. It's just been conjured. It's just been summoned. So go ahead and roll me an insight check, and we'll see how 19 making it 24. Based off of how it's just kind of suddenly turned in your general direction, mainly looking towards the Neftari, you could assume malicious intent, but you can't guarantee. It has humanoid features, but you can't really read its facial expression or body language because it's made of ale. But you could assume malicious intent.
Neftari, I think it's angry at you for summoning it or waking it up. Victoralis, Neftari, the wizard. We need to get upstairs where there's not so many people. The wizard will know what to do. Temple ushering Victoralis and Neftari, hey, we've got to go upstairs, is going to hold position to potentially protect anyone that this thing may attack. Now, without a battle map, it's a bit hard to do that.
No, I get that. So essentially, where you are, you're at the bar with just Neftari and Victoralis beside you. So if you're holding your position and you're going to ready your action to protect one of your allies, you can do so. If the elemental does go for anyone else, then you won't be able to protect them. You won't be able to protect your allies where you are, unless you want to move somewhere else to try and protect anyone else.
Temple, without drawing the sword, but just being ready with the shield that's attached to his arm, is going to sort of step towards the crowd to potentially protect a person. Those two don't need protecting, but quite frankly, I'm hoping they can chase it upstairs.
Okay.
And we're all going to need to be up there because, number one, all the people are down here, and number two, we're going to need to cure the wizard of drunkenness, I think.
Okay.
Probably not a good place, a small enclosed space. So I'm going to hold my action to protect a member of the crowd if a member of the crowd is attacked. And I vocally told them what Temple would like to happen.
Okay, cool. With that, we move on to Victoralis. Again, I do apologize for the lack of battle map, but
unless you think you can drink the whole thing, Neftari.
Well, we can certainly give it a try. I would like to move to a position that supports Temple's kind of guarding of the rest of the crowd within the place, so that if this thing does attack, then it's definitely going to attack us first.
okay. And so
But
we'll
if
say,
possible-
for brevity's sake, that temple has moved to the front left, to like away from where the doorway is that leads up to the tower to get closer to the crowd, and would say that you move over to the front right, so you're kind of flanking the creature as well, but covering as much distance as you can to protect as many people. That sound
So-
alright?
That's so yeah. I'm just planning that movement, but in the process of doing that movement, what I'd like to use my action for, if possible, bonus action or whatever, is to take the tankard,
Mm-hmm.
and as I'm running past this elemental, I'd like to see if I can scoop a big old cup of beer out of it.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and roll me a. We'll make this as so it'll be an unarmed strike, essentially, or no, it'd be an improvised weapon. So it'd be a D20 plus 3 for that. Dirty 20, yeah. As you run, as you kind of get up and make your way over, as the elemental kind of starts glancing around at the two of you, flanking, beginning to flank it on either side. As it glances over, you do manage to reach down and slosh the tankard through a lower portion of the elemental, bringing the tankard away. It does seem to be ill avail.
I'll end my turn there.
All right, cool. Neftari, you're up.
Okay, has Vix move? Does the elemental look angry at that? Aggravated?
Roll me an insight check.
Hmm.
$14. You're not quite sure how the elementals is reacting to this. It does seem to be glancing from one side to the other as it's trying to keep track of both Temple and Victorious. But
Okay.
I can't really.
So
No,
a
you wouldn't be able
temple
to know for sure, I'm afraid.
So a temple headed towards the stairs to wait Corona.
No, Temple's gone to the front left, away from the stairs, to try and protect as many of the patrons that are still inside of the bar. Victorious has moved to the front right, kind of adjacent to the stairs, to protect the patrons on the other side of the bar. Whereas if you move to your immediate right, you would have the tower stairwell that leads up to where Corlena's sleeping her hangover off.
Okay, and then I shall say to the elemental, hey buddy, hey, we're friends now. Safest place in the world. No, you were one bit. And then I bolt for the stairs.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a. I will make this a persuasion check.
Oof.
Yeah, so as you say that and kind of bolt over to the door, I will say that with your full movement, you'd be able to get to the door, open the door, and get into the doorway. You kind of glance over your shoulder, double check and see if the elemental is following you, and it does not seem to be.
Okay.
Okay, would you like anything to do anything else in your turn? You still have your action, and I'll say you're calling out to it to try and bait it in will be a bonus action.
Yeah. I'm not going to cast any spells on it. Did I have a glass of beer in my hand?
Say that again, sorry?
Did I have a glass of beer in my hand as well? Had we?
If you would like to take your tankard of beer of ale with you from the bar, you can most certainly do that. Otherwise, I would have said that you'd have left it on the bar.
Oh, Okay, I'll leave it on the bar. I'll be heading upstairs towards Corlin.
All right, cool. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
I'll wink at the elemental.
All right, cool.
So it's just like, I don't care, I'll just grab my beer and walk upstairs.
All right, with that, we move over to the elemental's turn. The elemental, kind of, what's it going to do here? Okay.
Or not, the elemental is just drunk, and he's an I love you drunk, and he just wants.
And the elemental kind of glances from Victorious to Temple, and then after hearing what Nethari has said, kind of tilts its head slightly before shaking, turns to you, Victorious, raises a fist and brings a ale-ified fist down atop of you. That is going.
New definition to getting hammered.
That's a 23 to hit.
Is that countering my displacement, or does that not?
Oh yeah, you've still got that, so it's a disadvantage. My apologies. I keep forgetting about that thing. So that then becomes a 13 to hit.
That would not hit.
That is a miss. Cool. And then it'll bring its second slam down upon you. That was a 13 and that was a 3. That's going to miss also. So it kind of turns from what Nethari has said to you, Victorious, and brings both fists down on towards you. You take a step back, narrowly dodging out of the way of the slam, and your boots kind of get covered in ale, and you see a lot of the patrons nearby kind of just like the more drunk, more intoxicated of the group kind of grab their tankards and glasses and kind of like lean over, trying to get as much of the alcohol into their tankards as they can before the elemental flows upright, I guess, and readies itself for another barrage. Next round starts. Temple, you're up.
Oh. Come on now, we can't just sit around. This thing could be dangerous. Oh, goodness me. Stop that! Cast banishment at 4th level.
4th level. Ooh.
Yes.
Right. 4th level banishment. It needs to make a DC 14 charisma saving throw. Ooh. Bad elemental. Stop it.
Just for long enough for the wizard to capture the thing. And then we can have him as a friend forever.
That's an 18. It succeeds.
Oh, bugger.
as you cast your banishment, you all hear like a very faint pop, and the elemental kind of like starts to coalesce down into a very big globule of ale as it seemingly is about to disappear before it starts to leak ale out of the sides, and then the banishment kind of just loses its form and dissipates as the elemental reforms where it's flowed. I guess it doesn't stand.
Had quite enough today, sir. Anyone got any ideas? Should we drink it? I say that loud enough for the whole tavern to hear and end my turn.
All right, Vic, it's your turn.
Okay. We consider drinking a potion a bonus action, right?
Yes, a bonus action to drink one yourself, and action if you're wanting to shove it down someone's gullet.
In which case, I'm gonna say, well, Temple, we can but try, and I'm gonna take a glug out of the tankard.
Yeah, tastes just like the same ale that you'd been drinking that Shikata had given you, has been given you this entire time that you've spent in Whitestone.
And then I'm going to shout, everyone, I suggest you get out. This is going to get messy. And then I'm going to throw the tankard once again outwards with the rest of the ale in it.
Oh. Okay. High or low?
Low.
You empty out the contents as you throw it. As it splashes down, the ale splashes down, it seems to begin to coalesce again into another form. As the original elemental kind of slides around and turns to the sound of your voice, its body collides with the coalesced ale and then absorbs that ale into its own form once again.
So with my movement, I will attempt to start kind of ushering people back away from it.
Yeah.
So the exit as best I can.
Okay. So yeah, I'll say you stay within its reach as you kind of hold your arms out to the side and keeping an eye on it, kind of usher people around and behind you. Just get out the door. Don't want to be here. This thing might end up killing you. And a lot of the bystanders, the non off their face bystanders, do stand up and listen to your advice. Get up and take a step outside into the cold streets of Whitestone. Is there anything else you would like to do, Vic?
No, I think that probably covers my turn. Thank you.
All right, cool. Neftari, you're up.
Right, I assume halfway up the stairs, am I? Or how far?
No, you finished your turn at the in the doorway of the tower. So, if you want to go into the tower and go up to Coralina now, you would need to use your full movement and dash to do that, and it will take you out of the initiative order if you do that.
Yeah, I will make as fast as I possibly can.
All right, cool. You do that, right? So, we will continue on with you for the time being because the elemental was going to go goes after you. So we'll continue on with you. You're heading straight up the stairs. Are you heading straight to Coralina's room?
Yep. I probably won't even knock. Well, I'll knock slightly and then enter anyway.
Mm-hmm. Just a knock in.
Yep.
Please get up.
If the door is unlocked.
Did you lock the door, Coralina?
I've been passed out. So
That'll be a no.
Right. So when I get in there, is she still passed out?
Oh yeah, she's still passed out. She was drinking heavily.
Times one Barkley.
Oh god.
Barkley, I think would be I'd say Barkley's roosted up on one of the on one of the desks. He just lay down, kind of head tucked into one of his wings, just snoozing away, trying to sleep off the headache that he's gotten.
Right. So I can cast Greater Restoration. I don't know whether I have. I bought some parts for Greater Restoration, didn't I? At the shop?
Yes, you did.
That's an instant spell. So that would cure her drunkenness. Or would a Lesser Restoration cure her drunkenness?
You don't know.
That's more blinded and paralyzed, isn't it?
A condition can be blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned. You don't know if it'll.
I guess drunk you'd consider it poisoned, couldn't you? Really?
You technically could, but you won't know until you try.
Okay, I shall cast second level Lesser Restoration.
Okay. As you reach down and just place your hand gently on Carolina's shoulder, you cast Lesser Restoration and roll her over. You do feel a kind of a warm glow flow from your hand over Carolina's body, and Carolina, you are able, if you would like to, of course, Like if you remain sleeping, that's up to you. Otherwise, if you would like to wake up in this regard, you will not be drunkened anymore. As you've been less arrested.
Okay, well, getting that I'm being randomly flipped over, I think that's a good cause to wake up. Oh.
Quick! Accidentally summoned beer monster. Might need help.
What?
Don't know if it's friendly. And then I found out.
Right. With that, we'll head back downstairs into the combat. Let me see. Odds. Right, cool. So the first attack at disadvantage, that's a 9, so that's not going to hit you, Victorious. And the second attack against Temple, that is a 22 to hit you, Temple. Nope. All right, cool. As the elemental tries to slam down its fist again against both of you, Victorious first, and then turning and slamming down towards Temple. The your displacement almost like feigns shoving you out of the way before stepping forward, Victorious, and the water kind of, the ale of the elemental slams down atop of it. As the elemental pulls its arm away, the displacement seems to be completely unaffected before it kind of shakes its head, looks at its fist, and then turns to you, Temple, and slams down atop of you. You bring up your shielded arm over your head, and it absorbs most of the blow. You do feel the weight of the ale slamming down on you, but you're completely unaffected. As the elemental begins moving towards the door, towards all the patrons who are just trying to leave. That then brings us all to the top of the round, and I would like Temple and Victorious to go ahead and roll me perception checks, please. $20 and a 27. Well done. So the other question I have for you, do you both speak Celestial? I believe you do.
Temple does.
Victorious, you speak Celestial, yeah?
Not sure if Victorious is frozen or.
No, he's not.
He's just thinking.
Yeah, I think he's looking at his character sheet. I'm trying to actually find. I'm trying to find his character sheet in this mess of tabs that I have open at the moment. There it is. So yes, is the end. Oh, Victorious is muted. That's what it is. There we go. Now we can hear you. What were you saying there?
There's one for the tech review next week. Yes, Celestial, all
yes.
Good. It's on my character sheet.
You do speak Celestial. Good, I can see that. Meow.
Meow.
Anyway, sorry, I was just getting a notification ping there as well. Right, so yeah, as you guys keep following the elemental as it kind of approaches the door, you do hear a voice in Celestial, just kind of quietly. Thanks, David. Sorry. Appreciate that. In Celestial, very very quietly, but you do hear the voice. Flow into the bottle and be gone. As you see through the doorway, it's just a very, very small bottle kind of floats into the doorway. The stopper kind of pops off, and the elemental begins to flow in towards it. As you watch, the body of the elemental begins diminishing and diminishing further and further, as its quite large form seems to flow into this incredibly small bottle before it almost completely disappears, and the cork stopper floats from the floor up and then into the bottle. It drops to the ground, just clinks once, spins around, and then settles before an individual whom you've never seen before steps into the doorway, reaches over and picks up the tiny little bottle. You might need this. Be good for your studies. Tosses it over their shoulder. A second voice rings out. You always know what to do for me, brother. Well done. Now, who caused this? As two vaguely human-looking individuals step in. Their skin is quite a bit paler than what you would expect from a normal human, with flowing. Both of their heads adorned with flowing dark hair. The male individual seems to be almost a foot taller than the female, but they're both adorned in dark leather armor, with their own backpacks slung over their shoulders. The male has a very long-looking, ornate long sword strapped to his waist, not actually sheathed in a scabbard. It's just like it's almost like he's used a belt loop as a scabbard to hold it in place. While the female individual has what seems to be a couple of hand crossbows, holstered like on both hips, as they kind of address the two of you, kind of looking between the two of you. As the initiative has dropped.
Well, that's a nice trick. That was actually a present for a friend.
Oh, this the beer elemental that you summoned. That was a present for a friend.
Yeah.
Might want to consider your presence a little bit better.
What?
How did the mug make that simple beer turn into such a incredible creature?
The female kind of steps forward and glances around. You're still holding the tankard, right, Vic?
Yep.
Kind of glances around, and she does make eye contact with it. Well, there's a solid possibility that the tankard itself is what is enchanted to give life to whatever liquid is flowing through it. So if you've poured ale into it and empty it out, it becomes an elemental made of ale. If it was water, it would probably do the same thing.
Goodness gracious me, could this be used with holy water?
I'm going to snigger and look around for Neftari, who's not here.
Just... oh, he's gone.
I was just thinking exactly the same thing. Hey, I wonder if I go into the bathroom with it. No.
Victor Alice, you must keep that tankard.
You have to ruin all of my homebrew items, don't you?
I could do it across anybody else's mind. I mean,
It didn't come across mine. But thank you very much for completely destroying the image of this really powerful magic item that I had in my head. Thank you. I hate you guys so much.
Now, Temple's uses for the item are surely wholesome and wonderful. Don't let that depraved soul upstairs ruin your perfectly good item. I quite enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
I'm just gonna shake any remaining ale out of it as best I can. And then
just a few droplets pour out, and then you reach over and disappears into your efficient quiver. Well, these two do seem to fit the description that we were given. What do you think, brother? The male kind of steps forward. Yes, they do. And the question begs, where is the other one? Oh, well.
Hello, I'm Temple. I'm
Yes.
approach and try and shake the hand.
The female kind of just reaches a hand out to you and says, Siriana, it's a pleasure to meet you. And that means you must be victorious, is that correct?
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
We are in the right spot. Feel free. I will keep an eye on these two. The male kind of just nods, walks past you, and makes his way over to the bar and passes through the veil. No longer hear what is being said. Well, I do hope that things go quite smoothly from here. We don't want to cause any trouble, but we are here on a job. We have been hired. It is not normally what we do, but one must make ends meet, if you understand.
Now, goodness me, if you're here to take Carolina away from us, I'm afraid there will be a problem. But if you'd like to take me somewhere, I'd gladly join you.
So the wizard is here, is she?
It would be foolish to assume not. We are traveling companions, after all.
Well, I'm glad you're being very honest with me. But I would like to make the request that you bring her down so that we can all talk like adults, and we can work this out. Yes.
Well, that sounds like a wonderful idea. Actually, Neftari's already upstairs. But while we're being honest, if you try and kidnap her for her family, I might have to behead you.
It's kind of like the mention of Neftari, her face kind of does become a bit more stern for just a moment. And, like, you are making eye contact with her as you're talking, so you do notice this, but as the moment you mention, like, having to behead her, she's like, well, I would like to see you try. But let's hope we don't actually have to get there, yes? Kaltal, she seems to be she kind of, like, calls over, notices that the other one, the other individual doesn't hear her, takes a few steps forward. This is some strange magics. Is this of your doing? The wizard's doing? Or?
Yeah, we have learnt some skills along our way. Now, what exactly is your business here?
Oh, we've my brother and I, we have been hired to return Carolina to her family, not kidnap her, as you have pointed out. We are not going to take her against your will, but we have been hired to return her to her family, and we have also been warned about the demonic presence that is accompanying her. So, as hunters, we will be exterminating it.
Oh, goodness me, I'll happily join you along the way.
I think we will need to have a discussion about that.
Oh, well, depending on the level of the threat that we have been told about, her brother seems to be quite adamant that you're traveling with a very powerful demon.
Oh, goodness me, perhaps a demon in the sack. That's something I heard Neftari say one time. Anyway, our two fine companions will be down very momentarily. We actually sent Neftari up to go and fetch them now. They do enjoy their time together, but they'll be down any moment now.
And it is just yourselves, Carolina, and this Neftari?
Almost, yes.
Well, when they are down, we'll have to discuss the terms of her surrender to us so that we can return her to her family as per contracted. And if we are able to find the demonic threat, we would be very grateful for your help, Paladin. We have worked with your people of your stature before in dealing with the demonic and fiendish threats. It would be beneficial to both of our orders and yourself if we were to work together to that regard.
I literally, and I mean very fundamentally, existentially, literally exist just to kill demons. So I'll gladly join you along the way.
I am glad to hear that. And she takes a few steps forward and disappears through the veil and places her hand on the other individual's, Keltal's shoulder. And they both step out and walk back over to a few paces past you guys, back towards the door, and then just take a position between yourselves and the door and wait as we will transition back upstairs to Neftari and Coralina. So you've just in the meantime, as this you guys have been upstairs, Coralina and Neftari, you've just been woken up after being violently turned over and been told that there's a beer monster downstairs.
Yep.
So what are you guys doing?
Well, I mean, are you gonna let me up, or...
Are you okay? Then he kisses her. He kisses her on the lips, and then runs downstairs to see if there's a huge battle going on.
Okay, so before you even get to respond to the question, Coralina, you do now fully understanding what the symbolism of a kiss actually means. He kisses you and then takes off before you even get the chance to answer the question that he just literally asked you, and then disappeared. What would you like to do, Coralina?
I have balanced equations on how much to exert on the weave that are simpler than how Neftari's disposition is. Fine, monster. Barkley, come on.
Yes.
You can slip on my shoulder the rest of the way. Come on.
But that means flying, and I'm not really good at that at the moment, my lady. As you watch him get up and he kind of stumbles a couple of burp paces on the table. You scoop him up and put him on your shoulder?
Yeah, let's go.
There you go. And you kind of he digs his talons in a little bit before kind of leaning over onto the side of your neck. This is going to be...
This is fine.
This is fine. You see him just sigh as he quietens down and apparently falls asleep on your shoulder. And you're going to make your way down to the bar proper. So as you slowly catch up with Neftari just at the bottom of the tower stairway, you open the doorway and step out, and there at the bar is Shakad, who's kind of glances to the two of you and then glances out and kind of shrugs his shoulders like, I have no idea what's going on. And as you step out into the bar proper, you do see your two companions, Victorlus and Temple, conversing with two other human individuals. Kind of the female kind of lifts her head up and perks up a bit in interest, spotting you. And as you make your way down and out, pass through the veil to your companions, you do notice that the beer monster that you were told about is nowhere to be seen. And most of the patrons have cleared out, other than a few who are either passed out on their table, still drinking, who just haven't given a fuck, or are on the floor, kind of kissing the floor, trying to draw out as much alcohol from the floor as possible.
So
Yeah.
where is it?
The elemental. It is it has been dealt with, Corlina.
In a tiny, tiny bottle.
Do I know if that's offensive to a water elemental of any kind?
You could roll me an insight check.
Okay. Let's do that.
Mm, 16.
16?
What's the name of your water elemental? I can't remember.
Misty.
Misty. You would know that if Misty were to have been trapped in a very, very small magical containment jar, probably piss them off.
I wouldn't open that bottle if I were you.
Oh, well, we are more than fully equipped to deal with it when we do open the bottle. But, yes, we're not going to open it here. We're not going to summon an elemental in a massive population center where there could be many people that are hurt or killed because of your stupidity.
And Coralina, they're not here for the water elemental. Friends of your family come to retrieve you, and I'm going to be helping them kill a demon of some kind, apparently.
It was supposed
Now,
to be.
they have been very civil.
Right.
Very civil, in fact. They agreed to have a conversation rather than just start flinging spells around. Like all the other people that have died.
I fear you're too late. We killed the demon a few days ago, actually.
Which one was that? I've lost count.
Go ahead and roll me a deception check, Neftari, right now.
The one by the cave, you know?
No, it's definitely not dead.
With the werewolf?
Insight. Ooh, that's a nat 20, however. She, the female kind of, glances up to you. Oh, well, perhaps we're just going to have to negotiate the release of your companion before the male kind of abruptly steps forward to you, Neftari, and just kind of leans in. Just, no. And takes a few steps back. Oh, no, absolutely not. He reeks of demon.
Oh, he did eat some. It was rather foul. Neftari, he sure does love having a little nibble on the things we dispatch, but I'm sure his constitution can handle it. I probably reek as much of him as demon as the next one, if anything more so, given that I barely wash. Have a smell of me. I'm gonna lean my arm forward.
Yeah, I'm sure the contract you've got to take Coralina back must be out of date by now. We went back and saw them not too long ago.
Oh, no. We've only recently been hired. This is a new contract.
That you have, speaking of contracts.
I'm sorry, do I know about the contract?
Not this one, no. They mentioned a new contract. They've recently been hired. On your way, Turles.
Maybe the contract that you signed and agreed to has a scent to it. Maybe that's why they're tracking you. Maybe there's a demonic presence within it.
No, that's unfortunately not how it works. You see, I deal with a lot of mutagens, and I'm able to, well, going into a few details, bolster some aspects of myself while diminishing another. And my brother here, well, he's very simplistic when it comes to what he does. Excuse me. Yeah, just let me finish. But he can smell a demon from a mile away. And not just the scent of a demon, he can smell their blood. That's what we are. We are blood hunters. And you? Are you sure, Kaltal? Kind of like she glances over to Neil, and you see him lock eyes with you, Nethtar. I'm sure. He has demon blood flowing through his veins. What are you?
I'm gonna ready my 2 short swords.
You're drawing your short swords, or
Draw them. I'm gonna be very much ready to pull
Alright,
them out.
yeah, okay.
If
Go
I
ahead and roll me a sleight of hand check. As you kind of slowly like reach down to your hips and like place your hands on the hilts, ready to draw them in the event that a fight does break out. Is that a washing machine in the background I can hear, by the way, Evelyn?
Sorry, that might be. I didn't realise I had my push off.
It's fine. But on a 20, yeah. Actually, it'd help if I actually had the. Yeah, no, absolutely. You are able to like very like slyly drop your hand to your sheathed short swords and get ready yourself to defend anyone should there a fight break out. Mechanically, you'll get advantage on initiative, and you may get a surprise round depending on how this all goes.
My goodness me, the very idea that Neftar is a demon is simply preposterous. The number of times I've cast channel divinity to detect good and evil, and all these things, not once has he gone up on my radar. I believe you are sorely mistaken. This is a simple beast hide, a wonderful transforming fluffy friend.
A beast hide, you say? Huh. Well,
That's what he calls himself.
That makes our job so all the easier, doesn't it, Kaltal? It does, yes.
It sounds like you know more about me than I know about myself.
Oh yes, we do. We've killed many of your kind.
What are you killing beast hides for? Look at him. He's so fluffy. Not an evil bone in his body, and honestly, not the brightest on the block. I mean, we have total Balgoras and all sorts, and they're quite different to this chap here.
Unfortunately, Paladin, there is a minor flaw with your argument that he cannot be demonic in nature. Detect good and evil, it does pick up on evil intent, and should he have ever had evil intent towards you, then it would let you know, it'd make you aware. But ask yourself, have you used your channel divinity in order to pick up any demons or beasts or fiends or fae in the area recently and not noticed that there was one extra? Are you sure?
Well, that's not really how my channel divinity is used, perhaps for some other panelings, but Neftari, a demon, this is really quite an unusual one. Do you plan on proving such a ridiculous accusation? Why, I could claim myself to be a horse, and you could ride me until the sun comes home. It doesn't make it any more true. I wouldn't advise that, but I do have the stamina to trot around for days, so were I a horse, I would be a very good one.
I imagine so.
Look, I've never met any others of my kind, so you claim to go around killing them. Is that why I've never met any others?
Well, it depends where you're from, of course. If you're from Taldore or Akrai, you don't really see many of them there. From what we've been told, that's where you originate from. Wildmount, however, we have come across quite a few beast hides over in Wildmount. And Unfortunately for all of them, yes, we have had to put them down. And it's not that we want to, it's just part of the job. It's what we do. We rid evil from the world in order to protect the good. Some a bit more brutal than others. Now, I can't provide you any concrete proof that he is demonic in nature, but you can read books, yes? I mean, no offense, I've never come across one of your kind. What are you?
Warforged, created for the very purpose of our namesake. In my case, to protect a particular temple and religious sect from demonic threats and threats otherwise. Clakenjar, the most evil of them all, and not even a demon, would you believe it?
While Temple's rambling, DM, can I attempt to slip into shadow?
You most certainly can, yeah. Go ahead and roll me a stealth check. Yeah, as far as as you kind of slink back and get into the darkness of the room, they seem to not be paying you any kind of attention. So, as far as you're aware, they have no fucking clue where you are.
Perfect. Carry on.
Anyway, what I'm saying is it'd be simply unjust of you to come around slaughtering people you deem to be demons without at least, goodness me, a trial.
Oh,
I don't even know how one would prove such a thing.
surprisingly, there's not usually much of a trial. Most of the beast-type that we encounter understand what they are and either flee or attack. This has been the first encounter where one has, spoken to us. But for your proof, however, Warforged and kind of reaches over her shoulder into a backpack that you recognize as a bag of holding. She just closes her eyes for a moment, and a book appears in her hand, and it is remarkably the exact same one that you were reading, Neftari, a few days beforehand, and about the origins of demons and their interaction with the other humanoid races. Just kind of nonchalantly tosses it to you, in Temple.
Temple wouldn't take issue catching that if thrown in Temple's direction.
Yep, snatch it out there. It's like,
I can index for the word beast hide if there is one.
Yeah, as you flick through, there's no index or anything, or contents page or anything like that, but you are able to flick through, and after a couple of minutes, you do actually come across the chapter on beast hide, and upon reading through, does seem to be detailed down that beast hide are demonic in nature.
The Temple would be reading aloud.
Yeah.
What is Temple reading? Like the key sort of.
Yeah, some.
Of a phrase.
Yeah, sometimes sometimes demons make deals with humanoid races to ascertain more power, but that power has to coalesce in a new being rather than the demon, which causes a union between demon and humanoid, which can result in a demon humanoid hybrid, also known as a beast hide.
Interesting.
Get the gist of it.
If this book is genuine, and it does appear to be, then Neftari, either your mum or daddy, might have been a demon. Do you know anything about that? And I'm super rolling on insight right now.
I'm trying to read that book myself. I haven't got to that bit yet. Well, I'm struggling to make head or
I did offer you help with the big words.
I never knew my parents.
I'm not even gonna have you roll insight on that, Temple. Like you've known Nephthai for long enough to know when he's telling you the truth and when he's lying to you. And
Goodness me, this is a bit of an ethical pickle. I don't know whether to slay you or save you. I've never met a half-demon before, and certainly the fact that you are one of the most morally good-natured persons I know makes it very difficult to come to a decision here. Perhaps I should banish you and think about it for a while.
but this is where
Any ideas, anyone?
this is where our issue arises. Most of the times that we are ordered to deal with demonic or fiendish threats.
Oh, your book back, by the way.
And she kind of like waves her hand, and a unseen force kind of takes the book from you, floats over to her bag, and pops it back in her bag. But we have never really come across a demonic being such as yourself who has never been non-aggressive. There's always fought or fled. You've done neither. It is interesting.
Well, there's nothing that can't be discussed over a nice beer and perhaps a whiskey.
My goodness me, this is just so, like, as if not listening to anything anyone's saying. This just doesn't make any sense. We're all such good friends with Nephthari. Nephthari and Coralina play together in the meadow. Victoralis, you've known him for so long, this just doesn't make any sense. He doesn't seem or act like a demon, yet, according to the literature, he is at least half as such.
I'm a demon in bed. Hey!
The
The very soul that brings me to life is part demon.
the male kind of just like glances around, and then you all paying attention. She's just Well, if I'm correct in saying, Carolina, you're not sleeping with the demon, are you?
I mean, are we being pedantic?
I know where you're going with that.
I mean,
He just kind of just gives you a deadpan stare as he glances from you to Nephthari and then back.
like, what is exactly sleeping together? I mean, are we talking physically? Are we talking being emotionally invested?
He can be very blunt. He can be very blunt. Are you in a relationship with your companion?
Honestly, I don't know myself half the time.
Hey, I love her.
Well, that narrows things down. Thank you. This is going to be much more complicated than we first thought, Keltal. I'm trying to think more of what you said, Warforged. You mentioned a great evil that has caught my attention.
Oh yes, that's actually why we're in Taldora, So we come over from a cry, a wonderful place. The ruler of the land was Victoralis' father, Kenjor. He is there's a curse on that land, and everybody who dies, without exception, including creatures, monsters, and demons, by the looks of it, seem to resurrect almost immediately. He also seems to be able to conjure an infinite number of all manner of creatures. Beholders with the eyes, goodness me, even the scary ones, perhaps, that are undead. That's something I'm very much hoping doesn't happen. Balgoras, Tempos just lists a couple demons out that we've fought and seen. We've actually come here to hopefully raise an army, myself looking for paladins to maybe make that not happen. But don't worry, we don't need to rush too much, as we do have a legendary cold dragon, silver, and a black frosty dragon that they're holding the fort for us while we're over here gathering forces. As you can all tell, Temple does not. Temple will just speak and speak the truth as he sees it.
Yeah.
I'm in my shadowy corner, just doing this right now.
Oh God, Temple, whoa! Please no.
Stands there sipping his beer.
The male kind of Keltal kind of glances to his side down to Siriana. This could be a potential repeat. A repeat of what? Of the cliffside scandal. Oh, very interesting. That. Do you think they would be okay? Unless they want to die. Your idea.
Temple ends
You
his
posed
ramble.
the question. And Keltal kind of glances over to you, like, well, an idea that I have. We are getting paid to ensure your return to the Oren Plain, Carolina. He points to you, Carolina. And to deal with the demonic threat that you are.
I mean, in all honesty, he's not really threatening unless he's like really far gone drunk, or if you're a horse.
Goodness me, he said some terrible things to horses. The kind of things you'd remember. At least that's the impression I got from it, said Maz.
Keltal just kind of leans over to, what the fuck have we gotten ourselves into? Don't know. Anyway, our contract does not specifically state that we need to return you into the Oren Plain now. We were merely tracking down the demonic threat that you are accompanying, and seeing that you are not with ill intentions, I'm sure we can forgo this one time of killing you.
Actually, maybe could help me track down a demon that we do know about.
Oh, goodness me, it has Carolina's name. What a pickle we're in.
You gave a demon your name?
Neftari.
With demons.
They just spoke. What was I to do? Anyway, every time we try to kill these things, these steel predators come out and it gets away. What was it called again? Just kidding, I know. It's called a Balgora?
Oh, well, he was a Glaberazu, yeah.
The most cunning of Glaberazus, but goodness me, he'll never tell you his true name. We've been tracking him for a while.
Yeah, a demon would never tell you their true name.
I'm guessing Steve.
No contract? No contract. What say you to paying us to hunt down this Glaberazu for you? In return, we will let you do whatever it is that you need to do in the prime material and defeat this ancient evil, great evil, whatever it is that you're dealing with. I do not want to know, nor do I care at the moment. We're not a part of that. But if you contract us to do something else, we wouldn't have to return you to your family immediately. It would buy you some time.
That's wonderful. We can postpone the discussion if all parties involved are happy, and if Tari gets away to spend all that money he has, and we get rid of that damn twatting demon. I shouldn't have said a rude word. Does that sound good, Carolina?
It sounds fine to me. What is your price for hunting down a demon? I don't negotiate this stuff.
Glaberazu will be 2,000 gold pieces.
Oh, well, that's done.
Good. We will charter the contract and see about hunting this demon down for you. Did it give you a name? Just a name.
Trogderon?
Trogdaran. Seriana.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seriana. Note that. We'll use that to track it. I know what I'm doing.
Would you like me to show you on a map its last location? Bearing in mind it did have some kind of teleportation circle, 2 of, inside its little base, and it was building things called steel predators that have a toxin that's very bad for you.
Yeah,
That would be very beneficial to us. We'd be able to use that to track it down even more
Very
efficiently.
excited.
We
I'd
can.
love to talk about demons so much. Goodness me. Here, let me mark it on your map for you. I actually take notes.
Mark it down on. Well, you don't have an official map of Taldor. It hasn't been fully like the entire land hasn't been fully noted down by a cartographer. But you do mark and give like directions to the cave where you last saw Trogdaran and Keltal and Siriana. Kind of note that down. Glance to each other. This could take us to the abyss. We might want to tell the order first before we go. Agreed. I will get on that. You finish up here. Your brother, by the way, he did want to ensure that you're the demon, this all-powerful demon threat that you were with is was dealt with. I would need some kind of proof to return to him that the demon has been dealt with, but you managed to slip our grasp and we are still trying to find you to give you time. Is there anything that you can give me to confirm that?
What,
Okay,
me?
first off, which one is it? I've got like 6 of them.
Your eldest brother said that you would know.
Look back, longer hair. Always acting like he was the brightest torch in the room.
Quite a pretentious bastard, if I do say so myself, yes.
Yeah, that's the one.
Is that the one that
Hair work?
likes you, or the one that hates you?
Someone that hates her. It was Anil.
I was like, does hair work?
And that could do, yes. It would have to be something that you would, that Anil would believe is something from a corpse.
Ooh, Neftari, I could punch you in the teeth. You don't need all of those, right? You've got an awful lot of them. I don't have any.
You could say I dissolved into a sticky pile of black blood, and all that was left was perhaps my cloak. Everybody knows it's mine. It's
Or a portion of it.
I spent a long time decorating it. Oh, what about this gold brooch, actually? I've had it quite a while on them.
That would survive in one of my mutagens if used efficiently. Yes, that would do nicely.
Sorry, take off my gold brooch.
Yeah, the brooch and pass it over to her.
Had it written down once. It was quite posh. I forget.
Yeah, it was quite exquisite looking as you pass it over to her and just like, it won't return the same way. I will have to damage it in acid or in order to make it look like you are actually dead, of course. But this will buy us plenty of time, and we will continue hunting you down, Carolina. I told you we shouldn't have taken this contract to begin with, Cartal, but still. We will get on with this now. I would suggest that you leave sooner rather than later. You were quite easy to find, and we may not be the only ones hunting you down.
Noted.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, last time her wanted poster was up in every bar from here to the cry.
Well, keep doing whatever it is that you're doing. And she kind of whips her hand, and there's a sudden gout of flame for her fingers, and a card, just a thin bit of card appears in her fingers, and she just flicks it over to you, Coralina. If catching it and reading it, it just has her name on it, Syriana Vigant of the Order of the Mutant. If you charge it with arcane energy, it does cast ascending through the card to myself. So if you do need me, let me know.
I already have sending. Oh.
Well, as a wizard, you require time and effort for using your own spells. If you use that, you're not using. How do you track your spell castage?
Okay, fair enough.
Whatever it is a free use of sending if you want to get in contact with me and only me. So if you need any help with this great evil, let us know, and I'm sure we can help. Keltal, let's go.
Yep. I'm told plenty of demons, plenty of undead things. Is that right? Where's Vic?
And as you watch as Syriana kind of turns on the spot and walks out, and after like kind of slapping Keltal on the shoulder, as you kind of like yes, of course. Don't get into any trouble. Don't do anything stupid. He's locked eyes with you, Neftari, because I will take great pride in ending your life. And before he leaves, Victorless, you watch as he kind of turns to the dark corner of the room. His eyes kind of go from a deep brown color to an almost amber, like orangey amber color for just a few moments as he stares directly at you, nods at you, turns around and walks away.
As they're walking out, can I... Well, first question is, was I observant enough to know where that bottle went and who's got it?
The bottle went into a bag of holding, and it was Syriana that had it, the female.
Okay.
You were going to want to try and steal it, weren't you?
Oh, yeah. It was a present!
I assume that was some sort of true sight that you could see.
No, that is something completely different.
Anyway, I will wander with my arms folded out of the shadows going, was a present, you know.
Door swings shut as you as you say that quietly.
Wait, what?
Oh,
yeah, I have a present for you.
Neftari should explain.
And Neftari goes into, I have a present for you. And he pulls out a what was it? Was it a jeweling crusted?
It's like a bunch of flowers with a thing wrapped around it.
Yeah, with flowers on it and a bow around it and ribbons and it looks very pretty.
You know, looking through some of the keys, like, okay, this one's new. Yeah, these are very useful. Thank you.
And also, Vic got you a present as well. I guess it's just walked out the door in a bottle. Oh no, I hadn't seen that, had I? I said, oh, Vic got you a present as well, but well, it was here, but it seemed to have transformed into two. What were they? What even is a blood hunter?
You've actually come across a blood hunter before. The werewolf that you dealt with, like way back in Accra, Caleb. He called himself a blood hunter.
Yeah. So what is a blood hunter?
Well, from what they were saying, they're demon hunters. Probably more.
Well, goodness me. It has been Such an interesting conversation. And while we're in the giving mood and talking about presents, oh, Neftari, come here. Temple is going to approach Neftari immediately. Temple is going to reach out,
Slice.
arms around Neftari, barefoot lift Neftari. Oh, I'm going to give you the biggest present of all, Neftari. I'm going to find your father or mother, whichever one it is that's redeemed, and I'm going to slaughter them in your name. Oh, Neftari, it's going to be so much fun. We'll do it together. We can both hold the blade. I will slaughter them before your very eyes. And then drop like you drop a cat.
Just boom. And then walk away.
Yep. Oh my god.
I can't wait to
It's the biggest present you could possibly hope to have from a paladin. Oh, how shall I do it? Shall I use the giant frost axe? Shall I use the dragon slayer longsword? A bit overkill, maybe. Temple continues this rambling.
Temple, we don't know who
So,
Perhaps I'll banish only half of their body.
parents.
so what happened when I left?
Oh, I'll find them, Victor Alice. Temple got a really serious tone there.
Okay, so what exactly happened? So there was a monster down here. There's not one anymore. 2 blood hunters showed up, whatever the fuck those are. Came and chit chat with us, left, and
I'm pretty. I mean, if this, I'm going to take the tankard back out of my cover. I mean, if it works properly, we can make another one.
Holy water elemental.
fine. Let me see it.
It's got elven writing on the bottom of it.
You fill it with beer.
Okay, for alcohol use only, do not spill. Okay, seems fair enough.
So we spilled some and accidentally conjured a
I
beer
mean, that's
Yes. Well, it says do not spill, so what are you going to do? You can see why it says do not spill.
all right. If we're summoning an elemental, I'd like to conjure some alcohol into the
Perhaps we should try that later, as I nervously sort of rotate my head, because Temple can't glance towards the barkeep back. Perhaps another time? The barkeep's patrons have only just started coming back in.
Ah, yes, when there's few people around, it was an angry beer monster. Oh, fairly angry. I mean, surely.
I mean, what were people trying to
Treat it
do with
right.
it?
Vic tried to drink some of it.
I mean, how would you feel like if someone started sucking on you?
Well,
Oh,
actually.
It's very unhygienic.
Okay.
Well,
God, I hate you so much.
But I mean, anyway, I mean, depending on what kind of elemental it really was, some of them still go by the old ways of challenging for dominance once they've been summoned the first time. I don't know, it's the old ways.
what? And you dominate them, and then they're your friend, and they.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of like a respect thing. You know, besting each other in combat and stuff.
Ah,
Like you and your brother.
There's no respect there. On both sides.
Yeah. So he said bounty hunters after us both again.
I mean, these were Nils people, so
I guess it was your parents that sent them after us last time.
well, parents singular.
Parents. Yeah, they I guess we pissed him off then.
I mean, that's not necessarily a difficult feat to do.
Should we send him some flowers or something? You know, a little gift. I think we can give you
So you do understand it, Neftari. See, you understand it. I was trying to explain it to you just this morning, and you take
Were
it all
you
on
trying
board.
to explain?
Oh, that. Well, I felt that the key things were, not suitably dressed for a gift. So I took Neftari to a local shop, and now look at him. He's talking about flowers and gifts and ribbons and everything. He seems to have taken on the lessons. I think they look better. Don't they?
And he's doing a wonderful job despite his disability.
Hey, what disability? I'm Neftari the Wise, they call me.
Oh, wise, but that is tainted blood there. But we'll get it scrubbed clean. I'll figure out a way.
We still have to talk later, but
Well, perhaps they don't call me Neftari the Wise. Perhaps it's Neftari the Brave. What do you think they'll call me in the future when they write about me in the history books?
Neftari the Mortal.
No. I hope I don't get noted for that.
Neftari the Quick Spread.
I believe the ability to construct a buffet simply faster than others is nothing but a boon.
Neftari the Experimental.
Is that what we're calling it?
Well, what's the
Not a disability.
eat and experiment and
Awkward.
I mean,
Well-
he experiments with more than just his mouth.
My goodness me,
Ew.
at the time.
the shadows.
Our deeds are not remembered based on our name, our deeds are remembered based on our deeds. Your deed will be your deed, and that will be how you'll be remembered. People will go, who was that handsome, wonderful warforged that defeated all those people? Oh, I don't know, but he did a bloody good job of it. That's how I'll be remembered.
Right. We were going to hit the road, weren't we? I mean, they found us
Yeah.
and said we weren't hard to find. Did we pay the bill?
The bill to Ushkad was paid.
As such, but well, here we are. We've got a long journey ahead of us, haven't we? Long
I
journey.
don't know, where are we going?
Well,
Anywhere but here. Vixoralis, actually, it was Coralina that seemed to be paying the most attention. I was too busy paying attention to who was paying attention than paying attention myself. But Coralina, didn't you get a look at a map in the Briarwoods residence that might indicate where people of power might be elsewhere in the realm? Perhaps those allied to the Briarwood to avoid potential complications.
I mean, they did mention Amon.
And for those of us who were paying attention to the map and the context and not whether or not other people were paying attention, who's that?
Imon is where the king resides, Temple. Probably the greatest force we can amass on this continent.
I mean, we've already got one location, willing to help, so if we come in saying, hey, the Briarwoods have already said they're in, are you in? I don't know how this works.
From what the Briarwood said, maybe they should not be mentioned initially, though promise of assistance from
Another ally.
Perhaps we should do what we did with the Briarwoods again with other members of the King's Realm. Then the King will come to understand that multiple people, hopefully of intellectual repute, have joined for good reason, and maybe it won't be so hard recruiting him, as presumably he has the means of which to have all of his subjects join as well, and it's an easier sell if a lot of them are already on board.
Excellent. So all we need to do is infiltrate someone within the Prince's court who has an experimental weapon that we can then sell back some technology to in order to arrange for a secret meeting with the king/queen, and then probably have to defeat some kind of horrible demon in order to gain their favor.
Yes, or we go back to the plan of creating Temple 1, Temple 2, Temple 3, but I don't know how to create a Warforged. Goodness me, I've tried. Perhaps they cut one out of a tree. It would be a strong and mighty tree.
I'm still in the dark as to what this conversation of temples. 1, 2, 3, 4,
1,000 temples. 1,000 more temples.
With foliage.
That's not how I'd name it.
Just giving a glare.
Just a look at Neftari like, what the?
Well, I mean, it's all theoretical. I mean, magic and things.
I believe your idea was to give life to a tree, but my idea was to just create more temples. Goodness me.
No, my idea was to carve trees into the temple shape of temple, and add some metal and stone and things, and then awakening it. There's no fornication involved.
This simulacrum would be hopefully a wonderful tribute to Warforged, but definitely not as good as me. Although if he was better than me, I would take the logical, reasonable way out and end my life simply so that the superior temple could take my place.
Well, sure, that's how somebody created your temple. They
Yes, but all Warforged were a little bit different, created for different reasons. I look just like the statues from my original temple, as if to blend in. Or perhaps they were dead Warforged, I don't remember. Kenjo bent it all down, probably.
Right, so are we heading to Amon?
Yeah, I think probably time to head to Amon. Let's just hope those horses got returned and that we can find some more. Otherwise, it's going to be a very long walk.
Would anyone like a piggyback?
I have no circle to Amon, so yes, we are stuck walking.
And I'm going to, head out the bar, head towards where we hired the horses.
Mm-hmm.
I think in a kind of, please let that kid have found those fucking horses.
Just please, gods of the multiverse, whatever has happened, I don't care. Just make sure that kid has come back with his horses already, because I don't want to walk halfway across the continent, please.
Neftari, if the worst has come to the worst, I can summon my warhorse, and pardon me, you can ride that with me, and Neftari can simply become a horse, and Coralina can ride Neftari.
Yep.
Why is everyone giggling?
6 days, Temple. 6 days. 6 days.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to keep marching forward, just muttering to myself.
I guess we're on the way to the stable?
Alright, go.
I assume we gather all our belongings in the room and everything. Do we have to state that we would do that before we leave?
No, I'd say, like, for the sake of brevity, so that, it's, like, not being an absolute arsehole of, you didn't go back and pick up all your stuff, so it's left behind, haha. Like, you don't have your own boat anymore, Victorious, because you left it behind, haha. No, I'm not going to be that kind of arsehole.
Exactly, shut in the bedroom.
We
you
had
just
already planned to leave, and we had, like, actually told the Shikard that we were leaving, so it's just the fact that we didn't quite get round to it because of...
But no, if you guys are wanting to, like, begin your plans for leaving Whitestone to head to another destination, then yes, we can say for for the sake of brevity, you will have just done that in the meantime, so that it's not holding up the game so much. So, you guys make your way back to the shrine. Victoria, since you were the one praying to the gods of the multiverse, call high or low, please.
I wasn't really praying. I was more just like.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not praying, but like, just, oh gods, please, please, please.
Low.
You picked the wrong god, motherfucker.
As you eventually turn the corner and look to the stables, you don't see any signs of the boy or the horses or anything like that. Just think to yourself, fuck, we're going to be on foot. As you're about ready to turn and walk away, you hear the sounds of hoof falls behind you. As you turn around, the young lad that Shakad had apparently hired to go out and gather the horses has managed to return with all of them in tow, looking somewhat healthy. One seems to have like a bit of a limp and a couple of scratches on it. It might have been attacked from what you can gather. But no, he seems to have managed to bring them back without any issues. I rolled an 8, by the way. That is 008, so
Cool.
almost as low as you could get.
I'll just take a little perimeter walk so that
Mm-hmm.
just checking that he's going to return them safely at the moment. Also, I just need to take a bathroom break. So
Yeah, well, is anyone else if anyone else is needing a quick bio break, when we can go and do that just now. Take 5 minutes, go and grab yourself something to eat, something to drink, go to the bathroom if you need to, and we'll regroup in about say for past.
cool.
All right, cool. Then we shall go and do that. So we will be back as soon as we possibly can, and we will continue as we as you guys potentially make tracks for Amon. Yay, here we go. We're all back. Somewhat, really. Yeah, I've got like a partially eaten apple here, so I'm munching that. Anyway, yeah, let's keep going. So the horses had been returned to the stable, Victorious, so you can use that information as you see fit. But with that, I would like to know though, where before you guys go into the stable and anything like that and progress, what is the plan going forward? Where are you guys heading?
We're each going to go to a different city and recruit a king each. 5-way split.
Well, I made a
There's only 4 of you.
To a city. No, Scott, you're going to a different city too. You're going to Whitestone.
So I'm just going to stay in Whitestone, and you guys are going to invent what you guys do in the other cities. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, you pick a city. We'll all do a city, and we'll all come back with like a whole kingdom.
Okay, so I'm staying in Whitestone. Evelyn, you're going to Craghammer. Victorious, David, Adam, you can go to Amon. David, you can go to Kaimal, and Kayla, you can go to Singhorn. Does that sound good? Good.
Yeah,
right.
Sorry, there's a place called Crackhammer.
Yes, there's a place called Crackhammer. No, I'm not giving that to you. No, David can get Crackhammer. You get Kaimal.
Yeah. Anyway, after 50 minutes of the session, we're done with Adam now. Over to Kayla. What are you doing in a different part of the country?
On the opposite side of the fucking continent. No, that's not happening. Anyway, but where are you guys planning on going? Just so that I can also prepare for the future.
Well, I made a note, hadn't I, already of roughly what directions we needed to go to and waypoints on the way.
Yeah, so you know that if you continue southwest, like on the road southwest, for about 4 days, you would get to the Silvercut Crossroads. From there, if you continued west for 2 days, you would get to Amon. If you continued south for 1, you'd get to Kaimal. If you continued south for 3 days, you'd get to Singorn.
So I will just present my very badly sketched out drawings to the rest of the party. Like,
You also all know that the capital of the continent of Tal'Dorei is Amon. So use that information as you see fit.
Okay, so there's the capital there. And did we also discover that Singorn has a teleportation circle in it?
You're aware of a teleportation circle within Singorn, yes. You didn't get the rune code, you just know it's there.
Yeah, I just know it's there. I mean... Also,
It
we know
would-
what Singorn's like.
It would be useful to have a central, place to come back. But the issue is we don't have any lines of inquiry in this particular location. At the moment, the only thread we really have with regards to recruitment it's not exactly with the leaders of a city, but rather with pursuing the various guilds, or rather taking down one that another might be in charge. We could get back on that thread, seeing as we have pre-existing contacts, or we could find an appropriate count to allege ourselves to.
Well, I mean, I know there's a teleportation circle in Singorn, which would be beneficial because that would be the southern portion covered where it's close enough to Amon. Amon is the capital, however, where possibly it's got more people. I just don't know what each city is like really, so I can't really weigh in of like what would be more, I guess, welcoming.
Why don't we drop by a bookstore and perhaps ask around, but ask the more intellectually minded people rather than the people in taverns as we usually approach. Surely someone also has a map for us to kill both of those birds with one stone without genuinely harming the poor animals, of course.
what's wrong with my map? I think.
This was drawn by an ape.
Oh. I understand it.
I'm slightly worried you might summon something with that thing. Please put it away.
Take the
I see it. I see how it is. Okay. Rude.
Use one color of crayon for the sea.
Oh,
You've gone over all the lines.
do we know anything about like what the demographics are of Amon versus Singorn?
In regards to population,
Yeah, like what kind of people live there?
so for the most part, Singorn, well, actually, no, you wouldn't know this. You've not really. Have you done any? You've done a little bit of research into Tal'Dorei and the different locations. Have you or no? I can't remember.
Just the ones with the circles in them, because that's my main shtick. Is
Yeah.
like where the teleportation circles are, and
Yeah.
they mentioned when Singorn is there. About
Yeah,
mentioning
so
the circles. So that
Singorn-
piqued my interest.
Singorn, from the a little bit of research that you've done, it's primarily Elvish, like Elven people that live there. Maybe a few, maybe half elves, and like very seldom some humans. But for the most part, it's Elvish, and it seems to have a very very deeply ingrained heritage with the Feywilds.
All right, Vic, I'm trying not to be rude here. But if Singorn's mostly elves and you're an elf, does that already mean you got kind of an in?
Racist.
Well, control. I'm not conventional, as you might say.
I mean, look, Orans are usually keen to do business with other Orans over like Terrans or Ignans, especially not Ignans.
We should.
Yeah, and if there's an elven king, I mean, surely that counts, doesn't it?
It's worth a try, but we should be careful. If they have links to the Fae, they may have links to my father, and we may be walking ourselves into a horrible, horrible mess.
Oh, we're always walking ourselves into a horrible, horrible mess.
You're not wrong.
So,
The way you want to go, then it's as good as any. If we can recruit them as allies, they aren't under the servants of my father in some way, then they'll be powerful allies, I'm sure.
DM, is anyone following us? Or obviously listening? I would like
Go
to
ahead and
check
roll
out
me
that.
a perception check.
Yeah, because those blood hunters did make Temple conscious that other people are looking for us. Really had to hammer that one button there.
As far as you're aware, it doesn't seem to be anyone paying you any particular attention. You do see a couple of people take double takes at you, like they'll look at you all and then give you another look, like, okay. But other than that, no, you don't really. No one seems to be paying you like. No one seems to be like intently staring at you, like trying to suss out what you're trying to do.
Guys, maybe we shouldn't reveal out loud where we're going, but rather pick 5 locations and roll a dice and observe the dice where no others can see, and then go to the location as chosen.
What are your 5 proposed locations, Temple?
Why, that's simple, of course. There's north into the sea, because that's where we are. We're at the very north of the continent. We could go back to place where we were. I don't have my notes with me at the moment. Perhaps the most populous cities with the largest potential armies.
yeah, wherever
It's a simple plan, but do we have any particular reason to go to any particular city? We could go to the elf place, but I found elves are quite stubborn. Given the longer age, they generally get set in their ways, then that's going to be harder, and we maybe want to have a bit of a difficulty curve going here.
I mean, granted, I've got a limited data point set when it comes to elves, but alcohol seems to loosen up quite well.
And we do now apparently have the ability to summon powerful super alcohol.
Yeah, I'm sure Lord and Lady Briarwood told us to go to a certain city and ask for help there.
My greatest allies will surely lie anymore.
Oh,
However,
let's just get some horses and we'll set out and we will flip a coin for it when we're on the road, hey?
Or go to the place we'd least likely go.
Okay, which is...
we either go and find
forest.
the king, or we go and find the elves. Either is going to be beneficial to our cause.
Or perhaps we ask someone who has local knowledge. As you say, we're not from Taldore. Perhaps someone in a bookshop might have more information for us. Maybe we'll find out there's somewhere where someone can create Warforged, and then that pretty much we win. We can all go home.
Is this how the making babies out of trees discussion starts?
Oh, goodness me, no, I mean creating a Warforged from the very raw heart of it. But for real, Coralina, you I'm sure could, as a reader of books, could respect this more than anybody. Shouldn't we choose our location based on an informed decision, not simply by the race of the people in the city we're headed to?
No, I'm going from the most information I have. There's a teleportation circle in Singorn. There is also the capability that the city itself travels, which does kind of interest me, as is probably conjuration magic that does so. In addition, people that have a similar kin uh, tend to flock together and more than likely to trust one another. I mean, you also need trust when it comes to diplomacy as well, especially when asking for aid. So, firstly, I would go with the elves. However, if we want to go to the capital, we can go to the capital as well. I'm sure I can find information there as well.
So,
That's going to be convinced. The elves, I'll second that. We're more likely to get a third city to help us if we already have 2 cities pledged to their armies to us. So, if we think it's the most likely place we'll be able to get more support, then
what are your thoughts, Lord Victoralis?
I think Neftari makes a lot of sense.
me.
Oh, well, goodness me, I guess books are just old-fashioned nowadays.
I was just repeating what Corlina was saying. So, well, that's 3 votes. So, yes, we're going to. What was that place called?
Hang on, we haven't asked Sir Barclay.
Oh,
Where is Sir Barkley?
Who's currently
Sir Barclay Moore.
a brown, like, bundle of feathers who is snoozing on Carlina's shoulder. Book. Book. What? Yes?
Elves
Yes.
and kings.
What did you say there? Sorry.
Elves. I was just going to shout elves or kings just as he's coming to his consciousness.
Uh,
Shout elves or kings.
Kings. What?
An informed decision.
I think we go elves.
My.
Good.
Well,
My lady,
goodness me.
my head, how do you people do with this? Oh gods. Just kind of flumps up against your neck.
He
it hurts.
was drinking with me He was drinking with me earlier.
Oh, it hurts so much. Oh, what is this?
Corlina,
You want to go in the pocket dimension?
Please,
Hang on.
I feel like I might throw up.
Corlina, I've got to apologize for sobering you up earlier. I can do it for him as well.
I've already popped him away in the pocket.
Yeah,
dimension.
he's just
He'll be okay. He's just gonna sleep it off.
a little burp hangover.
Well, I suppose a decision is made, given that the decision was apparently binary. I suppose there's optimism in it. Elves, given their age, are typically intellectual types. At the very least, we could find a lot of help from someone when we get there.
Yes, most civilizations keep some form of writing or record keeping. That's what makes them a civilization.
So, do we lie about where we're going?
Lie? What? To the stables?
Yes, certainly.
It could be used to track us down, couldn't it?
It's where I would go were I hunting someone. I would go to transport places, distribution centres. I'd ask simply where they went. Oh, they were heading to Blacktown. Blah, 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 blah. And then they will go to the wrong location. Such fools they will look.
How much
I
gold
mean,
do we
I can't lie, so that's... did I end up paying the blood hunters?
We'll say for the sake of brevity, yes, you would have paid the $2,000 to them.
Okay.
So you can deduct that from your guild total.
Perhaps it'd be wiser to buy ourselves the commodities we need and not be tied to rental
Hiring.
tracing that might require us to return said property.
I mean, if we're going to, if we're just going on foot, or rather on back to places, I mean, I guess go long. I don't know.
Didn't somebody get Coralina some plane shifting rods as a present?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, but I have to be familiar with the place, or at least have an idea of what it is before I plane shift.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. I was just keeping that in mind. Fort.
But
We've
How many days travel is it by horse? This town. Did
To
the
get
directions say?
to get to Singon, you're looking at 7. You're probably looking at about 2 weeks worth of travel.
Oh,
We are
Yeah.
quite far north. Perhaps we should make a stop on the way.
Yeah, you're 7 days to West Run, approximately, and then you're probably, I'd say, another 7 days to Singhorn after that.
but Imam was like sort of 6-7 days away or something like that.
Couldn't we check up on our good pal once as we pass by West Run and then head over?
Huh?
Why, our good paladin friend, of course.
Oh, you mean the one that brought me back from the dead?
Oh, goodness me. Of course, of course.
He's still in Stilben.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm mixing up all my cities now.
I mean,
I have an idea. If,
I don't have a thing for the prime. Out of those tuning rods, there's not one for the material plane, is there?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
I mean, I've been to Stilben, so if we wanted to go all the way back there, I could plane shift and.
Also, yeah, actually, Adam, yeah, sorry, you were right. So you're actually about 8 days travel to Singhorn, not 2 weeks. You're about 6 to get to Iman. I misjudged that. I was just best guess, but I was off by a mile. 8 days travel to Singhorn.
so you get us halfway there with plane shift. When we get there, if we're only a couple of days riding from there, I could turn us all into horses and we could gallop.
How majestic that would be.
How long can you keep us as horses?
A day. Full day. I mean, we won't, as long as a horse would be able to travel, we could probably travel.
Halfway
I mean, it's
there,
the element
a
of
day's
supplies,
travel.
right? They aren't looking for a group of horses.
I'm not looking for a group of horses. I could turn us all into birds or whatever the fastest creature you can think of is.
Perhaps we could find a merchant's caravan and pay them to bring us with us. That way, it's a very normal looking trip, but just happens to have people with it. It would take us longer to get there, but we have extra help and provisions.
I suggest leaving as little trace as possible. I think the use of the arcane is a route we should consider.
I'm fine with that two-pronged idea.
We leave town, no trace, nothing rented, nothing owed. Gone a couple of days on the road and be there.
Oh, I think we owe that kid a bit of gold for fetching the horses back for us.
Shall we? Shall we perhaps leave in the night so that we're less likely to be spotted leaving? We are a conspicuous bunch after all.
Well, if we're planning
Liam,
to...
is that kid still outside with the horses?
No, Shikad actually had paid for him to go and fetch the horses.
Oh no, I was just asking if are the horses that the kid
no.
wrangled still outside?
No. In the time that you guys have been talking and discussing this, all the horses have been wrangled back into the stables. Now, for the sake of your discussion, so that you don't do anything that you might end up regretting later, I will let you know that there is no direct path from Stillman to Singhorn. So if you were to do what you were thinking of, going back to Stillman, and then heading to Singhorn from there, you would probably be 9 days worth of travel to get from Stillman to Singhorn. Because you'd have to go from Stillman all the way up to Westrun, and then down to Singhorn, because there's no direct path.
I mean, we can always hit Singhorn first, and then if we want to go back to Stillman, I can just back.
Have we been to Westrun before?
You have, yes. You had to get from Stillman. The only direct connection out of Stillman is Westrun, and you were there before you left for Whitestone.
Yeah, so we could plane shift to Westrun then. Or
yeah, you could do.
Yep.
Westrun would be the central point, and from there we would make our choice whether to head south or to head west.
As I said, I can do that. Just let me know.
Well, it's the next waypoint for us, and it leaves us with no traces in this city for now, at least.
And are we going with our idea of turning into animals and then going from there, or?
If it would work, we wouldn't be tracked very easy, especially if we were flying animals.
How far could we travel, do you think, in a day?
As the crow flies?
Indeed.
Well, how far can a bird fly? Quite far, I mean.
Well,
It's got to be faster than a horse. It goes in a straight line, over the trees, it goes over the mountains. It's
yes.
Yeah, like mechanically speaking, you would probably cut your travel time from Westrun to Stillman down by, or no, Westrun to Singhorn, sorry, by a day. So instead of 4, you'd probably be about 3 days of travel, because you do have a direct path across the Stormcrest Mountains to get there, rather than going to the Silvercut Crossroads and then down to Singhorn following the road. You would be able to cut a direct path there. So it would be viable for you to do such a thing.
Well then, seems like we fly. Always like flying.
Enjoyable. Alright, so I guess gather up and we'll plane shift from here if you'd like.
Or unless we go somewhere just a little more secluded so people don't, see us.
Like behind that tree.
Have any? Would you conjure us in a teleportation circle, or can you specify where?
I'll say Western, and it should go to Western.
Okay.
There's unfortunately not a circle in Western I know of. Alright, yep.
Everyone hold hands. If you guys are going now.
We've got to do it across the screen.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Alright, and plane shift, destination Western.
Right. Is there any loopholes with plane shift that I can exploit right now because of that? Yes, technically I can.
Do I drop them in a mountain inside a cave? Or
I
in
mean,
the
I
sky?
can. Technically speaking, I can do exactly that.
You know, you are a really good DM. I just thought now would be a great time to tell you how much great time we're having.
About, like getting you a
Kayla?
just to say what a great DM you are.
Yes, some plane shift rods.
Uh-huh.
Few weeks.
Kayla, go ahead and call high or low, please.
Hi.
All right, cool. Because as I quote, where is it? You can specify a target destination in general terms, such as the City of Brass and the Elemental Plane of Fire, or the Palace of Despair on the second level of the Nine Hells, and you can peer in or near that destination. If you're trying to reach the City of Brass, for example, you might arrive in its street of steel before its Gate of Ashes, or looking at the city from across the Sea of Fire at the GM's discretion. So, as you guys, as I zip you guys over to the world map, as you all gather hands together, and with your your attuned fork to the prime material, you focus on Westrun. And as you finish casting the spell, everything around you goes flashes a bright white color as you feel the air being squeezed out of your lungs, almost like you're going through a very tight, small tube before the pressure is relieved. And you can breathe, but as you breathe in, there's a bite of bitter cold. And as you glance around to the southeast, a couple of miles away and far below you, you notice yourself on the near the peaks of the mountains just to the west northwest of Westrun. This is Gap Shadow. I hate my die rolls sometimes.
I'm gonna pull up a nice fluffy cloak with its nice fluffy hood.
Oh my goodness!
Wrap myself up in my nice wintry cloak.
Sorry.
You know, that is simply incredible. Look how close we are to the city. You simply must teach me how to do that. My goodness. Temple's genuinely happy about it.
Supposed to be in the city.
Well, it's a lot quicker than we would have arrived on horses.
And we would never have got to experience this spectacular view. Why, I could push a demon right off this mountain.
I look
I would
around
suggest it.
So, DM, what's the terrain like? Sorry.
Very cold, very mountainous, very steep ridges and sharp edges that could potentially cause a very, very short but very fatal fall if you were to lose your balance and fall off. It is like it's not too bad, honestly. You could probably navigate down and away from the mountains and follow the you do see a path below you through the large wooded area that would lead to Westrun, which once you descend down probably take you maybe half a day or a day to do.
So, birds. Right?
Birds.
That's the next part of the plan?
Yeah. Why do we even?
Does anyone have any preference for what sort of birds? I mean, eagles would be nice. We're in the territory where eagles fly.
I mean, either works, I guess.
great steel eagles. That would be spectacular.
Not flying though.
Yeah.
The thing is, Westrun is down there. We wanted to head west. Was it from Westrun? I mean, we could fly down to Westrun, or we could turn into birds and just fly east and hopefully hit the city we're looking for. I mean, this must save us half a day. Probably, maybe.
Well, we do have the option to stop and rest in Westrun. And
Yeah, was it Westrun we had to kind of run away because were we escaping the law there? Or was, I really can't remember. Oh.
no, I'm sure Westrun's perfectly fine.
You sure we didn't get arrested?
It's been weeks since we had any
We
involvement.
almost got arrested in Whitestone.
Whitestone, yeah.
Yeah, I thought we almost got arrested in Westrun as well.
I don't recall any particular trouble as such. It's maybe a potential stopping point, though.
Okay, we'll take a look around. Are we going to fly or walk down to Westrun?
Well,
If you want to follow your death, I mean, you'll technically be flying.
So I wonder where this path goes. What? I mean, we're almost at the top of the mountain. I assume.
the elves and the dwarves of old times used to often cut paths through huge mountain ranges and through caves and such. It's no surprise that they would have a path like this for transport of wares and goods and trade and things. Not the safest path to travel, but solid.
Well, is there anything in the sky bigger than a crow?
Glancing around, there doesn't seem to be that like any aviary life around.
Right, you're thinking if we turn ourselves into small bird, giant eagle or something could swoop down and make us lunch.
Well, there are various problems, and if we were to take damage in one of these transformed animal forms, we would certainly fall to our deaths. Whereas we could have a leisurely stroll down the mountain now.
Yeah, you kind of raise a good point there. Yeah, yeah. If we do get eaten by something, then we would turn back into ourselves, and obviously none of us can fly as ourselves, and it would be messy.
If only we had something that could fly so majestically as a cow.
I've heard mountain goats are quite agile.
Are you suggesting we transform into mountain goats and hobble our way down?
Well, certainly would deal with these steep cliff edges, and from what I've seen, they're quite agile and sprightly in their mannerisms. I'm sure they could cover more ground than us as humans, anyway.
Coralina, do you have any objections to being turned into a mountain goat?
Oh, I think we're just trying to get there. So if that helps, it helps.
Well, Neftari, it's settled. We shall all be goats this evening.
Wow, this is like some sort of fantasy of mine, I think.
Galloping!
All my dreams at once came true. I would like
Get them goat tokens ready for when the initiative starts on a surprise combat.
I would like to cast an 8th level spell.
8th level? Is that what we're blowing on this?
8th level goats.
It's the lowest you can cast in this this app. Yeah, it's what's it called? animal shapes.
Mm-hmm.
This is the most impressed DM we've ever had.
And I'd like to turn us all into ferocious.
Ferocious!
Ferocious mountain goats. Yes.
Ill-mannered mutated sea bass.
So, animal shapes. Your magic turns others into beasts. Choose any number of willing creatures that you can see within range. You transform each target into the form of a large or smaller beast with a challenge rating of 4 or lower. On subsequent turns, you can use your action to transform affected creatures into new forms. The transformation lasts for the duration of each target or until the target drops to 0 hit points or dies. You can choose a different form for each target. A target's game statistics are replaced by the statistics of the chosen beast, though the target retains its alignment and intelligence, wisdom, and charisma scores. The target assumes the hit points of its new form, and when it reverts to its normal form, it returns to the normal number of hit points it had before it transformed. If it reverts as a result of dropping to 0 hit points, any excess damage carries over to its normal form. As long as the excess damage doesn't reduce the creature's normal form to 0 hit points, it is not unconscious. The creature is limited in actions it can perform by the nature of its new form, and it can't speak or cast spells. The target's gear melds into the new form. The target can't activate, wield, or otherwise benefit from any of its equipment. So you are using a very powerful 8th level spell to turn you all into goats.
Yes.
I think it goes without saying, Neftari has made his decision.
Mountain goats. Super mighty morphin power goats.
Muscular goats. Not your average, standard, common, normal goat.
Goat of the goats.
The kings of goats. The most powerful
I
goats
hate you guys so
ever
much.
seen.
I genuinely hate you guys so much.
Wise goats that maintain their intelligence and charisma.
I hate you guys so much.
Do we
Perhaps
have
mine has a little collar.
dragons or something? Or wolves? They're quite mountainous.
Nope.
No, I already asked. I already asked, and I got a response of yes. We're being transformed into goats, so that is exactly what is happening.
And we can't speak English, remember, only goat. Everyone can argue
But
dictionaries.
you can all suddenly speak goat, so you can still speak to one another. But yes, Neftari, you're concentrating on the spell. You're all now mountain goats. I hate you all. I genuinely hate you all. But this is my own doing. This is my own.
Muscular mountain goat?
Let's find out. Are you the most muscular mountain goat? Oh yeah, by far you're the most muscular mountain goat.
Yes, excellent. This mountain goat's gonna flex.
Can I be the black?
Yeah, you've got the yeah. You can see. All right, so you guys making your way down to Westron, yeah?
Yep, we are galloping.
We are trotting, galloping all the way down.
Jumping.
Frolicking and bouncing and
And
all the world.
just hope there are no more. There are no lady goats on the way down. So we don't want
All right.
Neftari girl getting excited.
So with that, you guys, I hate you so much. You managed to make your way down the side of the Gat Shadow Mountain, make your way back all the way to Westron once again as mountain goats. Are you guys going to be staying the night in Westron? Yeah.
One in, please. One room.
Yes, I should think so. We'll probably be looking
How
for
do
it.
How do we say drop the spell? Can you drop the spell? Do we have to just bleat at each other?
You can all speak goat. I've already said that, so you can all speak to each other.
So we can all communicate with each other.
I reckon if you desperately wanted to change back, you could just headbutt Neftari and he would drop concentration.
Sounds brilliant.
Yeah, that's probably how it
Right.
would go down.
So as you guys return in, I'll say Victorious just sticks the heat on Neftari to get him to drop concentration on the spell. You guys return to your normal forms, and with the plans of spending the night in Westron, you seek out the where you stayed previously. You managed to travel through the inner heart of Westron. As is getting quite late into the evening now. You do find the open door to the inn that you'd stayed in previously, to the Broken Candle, and as you enter, the female elf, Alex, who had served you before, just kind of perks up as you enter. This place seems to be very, very quiet at the moment. You, as far as you're aware, you may be the only patrons inside. And she kind of glances up and like, oh, you're all back now, are you? Would you like a room for the evening?
Meh.
You're not a goat anymore.
I'm sorry, was it pronounced brr or brr? Oh, never mind. It's very jarring coming from one creature to another. There's a flappy thing between the mouth holes.
Yeah, I believe it's BRLE spelling. I've read it in some books, so never sure of the pronunciation.
I think we'll be having in rooms.
Yeah, I can get that sorted for you. Are they okay?
Transmutation magic.
Oh. Okay. I'll here just kind of reaches over and slides over 4 keys. It's kind of empty at the moment. Everyone's heading down south for the big event that's happening soon, apparently. So I'm kind of running dry at the moment. So anything you need, anything that you asked for, I can probably get for you because you're here alone.
Oh, what's the big event?
Singhorn's apparently going to be bouncing out.
Bouncing out?
Oh, yeah. The
of a, if I'm correct, a fey existence from one place to another.
Yeah, so there's a lot of spellcasters in the area that work together in order to teleport Singhorn from the prime material to the Feywilds. So I don't know how long it's going to take. A week, 10 days, maybe a bit longer. I don't know, but within the next 2 weeks, Singhorn's going to be gone to the Feywilds for another period of time. We don't know how long. So if you're wanting to go and see Singhorn, you might as well go and do it now.
Fancy that? What, they just transport the whole city to...
Yeah, they've been doing that for generations.
Sorry, this could either be the very best thing we've heard or the very worst thing we've heard. So,
Goodness me, imagine what Kenjar would do with a power like that. Well, of course, now they have a staff that probably can.
precisely.
Yeah, that could be bad. That could be part of his plan.
What plan is this? Who? What?
We don't know. We're trying to figure out somebody's plans, and I don't know. Is there anything go wrong with when such magic is used to do something like
If
that?
it's used in the wrong way, it could take you somewhere else. It could, because you're transporting yourself to the Feywilds, you could go to the Shadow Fae, or it could take you to the lower planes or the upper planes.
Imagine a whole city was teleported to the wrong place. That sounds very unnerving.
It'd be disastrous.
Well,
How How long have you lived here? How many times have you seen this happen?
Well, I've been in Westron. I've only been in Westron for 60, 70 years now. But they've come and gone about 12 or so times. I can't.
They ever transported themselves on the same plane?
No, they only ever they either stay here in Tal'Dorei in the same location or go to the Feywilds. So they may go to different places in the Feywilds when they go through every now and then, but for the most part, no.
Here.
Say that again?
They always return here.
Yes, I always return to Tal'Dorei.
Maybe there is hope. Then, thank you. I'll take a key from the bar and step back.
If you need anything, let me know. Yeah. She kind of just abruptly turns around and starts you can tell that she's trying hard to look busy, but she's got fuck all to do at the moment. Victoris, could I get you to roll me a perception check, please, after you pick up your key?
Yeah.
15. You catch a there's a glint of light in your in the corner of your eye, and as you glance around to some of the booths that are inside the tavern, whatever caused it is no longer there. There's nothing before you, but you do get the feeling that something may have just been there, or it could have been the trick of the light. But with that, are you going to be heading up to your room that you've grabbed your key?
Not at all, no.
No?
Make myself comfortable in the bar. Sit there for a while.
Mm-hmm. And the rest of you, what you all wanting to do?
No need for a room for me, but I would love to pick your brains regarding the lay of the land. Just your own opinions on the different cities of Tal'Dorei were relatively new to the continent. That doesn't have to be a conversation we have, DM, but just something Temple wants to talk about with the barkeeper.
Yes, well, she goes into detail about Imon, Kaimol, Crackhammer, and Singhorn. Imon being the capital is the most densely populated, and they mostly seem to be up to, like head up their own arse, kind of stuck up people there. Crackhammer to the north is a mountain, is a city built into the mountain range of the Cliffkeep Mountains. They tend to keep to themselves and not really do much there, and they do have a direct connection to the Underdark in that area. Kaimol is another kind of small city-state, kind of like what Westerun and Stilben are. They keep mainly to themselves, but offer fealty to Imon, and goes into detail about Singhorn, but doesn't give you any new information that you don't already know about Singhorn.
That's okay. Just a little bit of learning about local geography. Temple wanted there.
All right, Neftari, Corlina, anything you guys are wanting to do?
I will ask her about that path that we just came down from the mountains. Where'd it go to?
That is leading up to Gat Shadow. That was an old wizard's tower from like centuries and centuries ago. He was supposedly a necromancer who tried his hardest to become a lich, but some heroes of old dealt with him, and he's long gone. But there's supposed to be a tower there that he used to reside in, but no one's been able to find it. We think it may have been reclaimed by nature.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to navigate up there, but perhaps we're only fit for goats.
Why were you up at Cat Shadow? What happened?
We got lost.
Very interesting place to get lost, that's for sure.
No, it's interesting if you're a goat, but yeah.
Okay. And Coralina's anything for yourself?
I mean, not much. I guess with all the stuff that's been going on recently, I just take up a key, say good nights, and go upstairs.
All right, cool.
There's like a look back at the party for just a moment, and then it's up the stairs to a room.
Okay. Just a moment of hesitation before you turn around and make your way back up to the room, yeah?
Do cast sending if you get in any trouble. The slightest whisper, I will assume it to be you.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, is there anything else that anyone else would like to do before the end of the evening?
Of games again, I'm just remembering last time we were here, the lady behind the bar recognized Coralina. Is that correct? From her wanted poster, and offered to protect her.
No, that was Shakad in Whitestone.
Right.
We spent very little time in Westron.
Yeah, you guys basically came here after being in Stilven. You came here. There was some temples that you went to for recruitment for paladins, advice on which go next from Bahamut. Temple went into a temple of Nerul. Talar spoke to Loon.
Also, there was alchemy shenanigans here.
There was the alchemy shenanigans here, but then not long after that, you guys booked it straight to Whitestone because you'd heard about the army that was there and the potential Oathbow and everything that was going on there. So that's where you basically spent like a day, maybe two here. You spent the better part of maybe a week in Whitestone.
So this wasn't in where there was the old adventurer that gave us some advice? Was he not here? What was he called? The old Dragonborn or something?
Yes, the Dragonborn was Dravrov was here, but he was you haven't really made much more sense with him. The last you saw of him was when you were leaving to Whitestone, and you saw him outside the city walls in Coralina. I'd spotted him with an inverted sigil of the Myriad around his neck. The last you saw of him when you were heading out towards Whitestone.
I'll find myself a table. I'll order as soon as it's available. And I'm going to continue trying to kind of sketch myself out this like map of where we're going. Like now we're in a restaurant and trying to pinpoint.
Okay.
Like this. It's basically I'm just building myself my personal map.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a performance check. Let's see how good it looks.
Temple would like to help out, at least not with the drawing and the crayon part, but...
Okay.
planning part if Victoralis is willing.
Okay. If you're willing, Victoralis, to accept the aid from Temple, you can re-roll and have an advantage.
I'll try it.
So just roll again. You're at 20 so far. Let's see if it improves.
I did not
A
press the
1R. A 1R. Perfo.
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 What did you do?
You rolled a performance. No, you need to check for performance. There you go. So 20. No, you do quite well. Like just thinking about everything that had happened recently, you're able to note down the direction of the roads from like the road that you took down from Gat Shadow to Westrun, and you could see the roads leading out. So you're able to sketch them down and get a good lay of the land on your map. It's coming along quite well with a connection to from Westrun to Whitestone.
Other than that, I'll be chilling in the bar, enjoying a few ales, and probably not even use my room key. I'll probably go and find somewhere quiet
All right. On the rooftop to meditate. Cool. But is there anything else anyone else wants to do before the end of the evening? Or are you all going to retire for the evening?
Yeah, I think I should retire.
Okay.
He'll probably try to make it up with Coralina a bit. If she answers her door when he knocks.
Knock, knock, knock.
Well, it's open. I didn't lock it.
All right. Did you go in that time?
Yeah. And I think by now he's kind of picked up that she's not happy about the talk of Neftari fornicating with trees to make new temples. So we apologizes and as best he can. Yeah, it discusses the events of the day. Her brother sending people after us again.
Well, I think on anything, I guess things are just done differently in the material plane. So I guess I'll keep my door unlocked. If you want to, that's fine. If not, then that's fine too.
Yeah, so he sent people to kill me and take you back.
Yeah, he does hold a grudge. I could have told you that.
I mean, he sent people to kill me. That's... no.
Lets you know if you made it or not. I mean, nothing says notoriety like assassination contracts.
Would you feel really bad if I was to try to assassinate your brother?
I mean, he is still kind of my brother.
Okay, just checking.
I mean, he's a half brother. If that makes any difference.
Well. I mean, he tried to have me killed first. He sent hunters out. I mean, it's, an eye for an eye and all that. Take a contract out on him.
Yeah, but unlike you, he has my dad to run and cry to.
I mean, we're not going to invite him to the wedding.
What?
I mean, hypothetically speaking, if there ever was... no, we wouldn't have to invite him, would we?
I mean, okay, I need to know right now. How in the hell do you guys is this done in the material plane?
Huh?
Because right, I have balanced equations simpler than this.
Huh? Well, I have no idea actually. Man meets girl, man sleeps with girl, man runs away. Although not this time because I love you. But hey, this is new territory for me too.
Okay, well, allow me to give you from my perspective. Usually it's guy meets girl's father, contracts negotiation, then chaperoned exhibition, so to speak. 2 different galas, affairs, and whatnot, and then deal is sealed.
Right. So, at which part of this does the girl's brother attempt to have the girl's boyfriend assassinated?
Usually year 3, month 4. Usually, if it's usually done of the brother is slighted in combat,
Right.
or another manner of the brother proving themselves.
Okay. Wait, this is normal? Okay. I guess
Typically, yes.
I guess we're both learning new things.
Like I said, if a whole openness is how it's done in the material plane, I guess I'll shot.
Sorry, what was that?
If you want to go lay in other beds, that's fine. If that's how it's done here, then that's how it's done here.
That's how it's done here. I think. I know it's different with lords and ladies and kings and queens and they behead people if
You say that I've got 8
You're on your own bed.
siblings.
Yeah.
They're not all the way related.
Right. Okay. So it's not done like that in the own plane. Oh no. With kings and queens, it's supposed to be different. If then they have that might just be to protect the hair, the lineage, but yeah.
Do I have to worry about you going off with a hole in a tree?
No. Well. No.
Jesus Christ.
Really drunk. And it was a really, really attractive tree.
Or a horse?
You don't have to worry about being horses. I like horses.
That's why I'm concerned.
I like horses as much as everybody likes horses. Maybe a little bit more.
Look, when I did. Oh wait, how much do I remember of being drunk, DM?
Not a lot.
Do I remember anything at all?
Probably not.
Okay. Well, look, I'm only concerned because remember when we talked about streams and lakes in theory of divination? Sometimes you could see things that are only a possibility, but if those certain things line up correctly, then it becomes reality kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of school of thought I was taught. and I saw something, so I don't know if it's a solid possibility or if it's just an offshoot possibility.
Okay. What about us?
And you know how I mentioned before about how adaptable genasi usually are with how they usually go with other humanoid species?
Oh, yeah, the offspring always turn out genasi?
That's not always true.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, apparently you overrule that. 7 times.
Quite a litter.
Well, I mean, they didn't look like to be all at the same time.
Okay.
Like I said, it's only either an offshoot or a possibility. It's not concrete. So even telling you it could probably not happen. I don't know.
Could make me run away. The prospect. I mean, I'm
Possibly, yes.
not going to run away. I mean, we could try. Well,
Okay, so is the right side being occupied by my books or you?
Huh?
Am I studying alone tonight?
Right. Oh, that's what
Either I'm reading late into the night, or are you going to be occupying that space?
I was hoping
I need to know because either they're going on the bed or on the nightstand.
Put the books on the nightstand.
Okay.
All right. So.
Thunder. No, sorry.
Right. With that, can I get the two of you to roll me performance checks
Okay.
on a fade to black? And with the party finally getting some actual rest in an inn. God damn, Cora starfishes the entire night. However, with that, we are going to call an end to tonight's session because that is 2012, and some of us unlucky folk actually have work to go to in the morning, so I need to actually head and try and get some sleep here soon. But yeah, how was that? I know it's been like 3 weeks since we actually played because of, shit happening, and
I think it was a matter of shaking the rust off.
Yeah, there's that. But on a plus side, I'm guaranteed to be fine for next week because I've got the entire weekend off, and then the week after that I'm on holiday, I think. Let me check. It's Sunday. No, it's not that. No, it's not the next Sunday, but it's the Sunday after that. So the week of the 8th, I am on holiday, so I won't have any issues there. The 1st of November, that'll be the matter of still up in the air. But next week is I should be fine.
All good here. I'm still furloughed till the end of the month, and then after that, I'm going to be made redundant. Yay!
Yeah. Yay!
Yay? Yeah.
That's right. Oh,
Right.
Right.
So,
Well,
yeah, next few weeks I'm all good, basically.
Next few weeks you're all good. Right, cool. Well, so hopefully nothing shitty happens for the next week. and we will be able to return to playing the game. Does anyone have any issues with the game tonight?
Nope.
No, just trying to get back into it.
Yeah, yeah. Like Kayla said, getting the rust off.
Get rust off, exactly.
Yeah. Good session. I was trying to remember all these places and people that we've probably encountered before, but I'm sure something happened at this inn. I'm sure we.
Yeah, the alchemy shenanigans.
Yeah, no. What happened in this inn was you first encountered the bounty hunters, the two bounty hunters that you then fought on the way to Whitestone. They recognized Coralina, but they followed you out. Nothing actually happened here, but that's what happened. The bounty hunters caught you.
No, there was the alchemy shenanigans at the inn.
Oh,
After going to the alchemy shop, somebody drinking something they weren't supposed to drink.
Yeah. Well,
the
that
end
happened.
names.
That happened at the alchemy shop when they drunk the filter of love.
And then the innkeeper messaging Corlene being like, if he is doing this against your will, you need to blink twice.
Yes. But anyway, with that, we are going to call an end to the session for tonight. And with these 10 fine, I'd help if I could spell, these 10 fine people who are currently viewing the stream, thank you very much for tuning in. I'm not actually going to do the raid. I'm actually going to swap over to the screen here for a few moments because I have a new thing which is going to be included in our tech review. This is a continuation of our tech review, Adam and Evelyn, because it's going to be a bit awkward to do this, but I'm going to do this, and yes, there's my SLOBS, but it's because I have to do this through something on my computer. But ta-da! We has a snack cam.
Yay.
It'll update on the stream here for everyone soon enough. But we have a live snack cam. So I have to I can't do that at the moment, Evelyn. But I could go and like pull them out and show them off on stream. But it's through my your phone app on my computer because I can't actually get the app on my PC at the moment, which is irritating as fuck. But that is the SNETcam. It is a Vixture PC540, which is bolted to the roof of his enclosure, so I can move it around and stuff like that, and actually keep an eye on him and look around. So we do have a SNETcam for keeping an eye on him and showing him off on stream if he decides to have a nosy about. This is really awkward to control while doing it on the PC. Nope, that's the wrong way. There we go. A bit too far. There we go. That's better. That's where we want it. But anyway, yes, we do have a snack cam. I'm not going to go and grab him just now because he is snoozing at the moment. So I will unfortunately say for the time being that no, I will not be showing the snack because he's let me reject and refund that for now. I had to because I can't show him. I can't show him off just now because he's snoozing. I don't want to disturb him. But we will have that for future into showing him off because he's cute. I actually found out that it takes him about 20 minutes to fully eat a cheese boy the other day. So it also has built-in night vision and stuff like that, so I'll be able to show him off at nighttime and stuff. It's really cool. But anyway,
I one of those cameras, I think.
With that, we are going to end up here. I'm going to go and we're going to go ahead and raid a friend of mine, Michael, who Mikasa, who's going to be, I believe, is currently streaming some Among Us. Let me go and find out what he's doing. Yeah, well, looks like he's playing some Among Us. So I'm going to click this one. And this one should take us over to this one. And we'll end the stream here. So thank you all very, very much for tuning in and chilling out with us for our first week back after a while. We'll get the rust off and we will continue the story next week as the party makes their way down to Singor and hopefully doesn't get teleported to the Feywilds. Anyway, we will catch you guys all later. I will run that command just now.
Love you too, Big Paps.
That is Mark. I saw that you were streaming. I think it was FIFA 21 earlier on. Paps, how is that going? Because I know you and Valgor have been playing FIFA quite a lot recently. Good. I'm glad to hear that, man. Always glad to see that. You know, like I saw that Snappy's getting back into streaming as well now that he's back on momentarily got smashed. Got absolutely gubbed. Doesn't surprise me. But anyway, I'm going to click raid now and we'll send you guys over to Mikasa. He's a good guy, a good friend of mine. He plays a lot of social deduction games like Among Us and Aggro. So we'll click raid now. We'll head over there and we will catch you next time. We'll see you later. Bye.